Crisis within the People's Democratic Party persists as the acting national chairman, Umar Damagum, clarified that the National Working Committee has not yet convened to address the court ruling on the Rivers State executives, contrary to claims made by its National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba. At a press conference in Abuja on Friday, PDP Deputy National Publicity Secretary Ibrahim Abdullahi expressed concerns over Ologunagba's recent actions, describing them as motivated by personal interest. The conflict between Rivers State Governor Sim Fubara and his predecessor, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, over the PDP structure in Rivers State has led to ongoing tensions within the party. Despite several failed reconciliation efforts, Wike's faction emerged victorious in the Ward, Local Government and State Congresses held on July 27, August 10 and August 31, 2024. Fubara's allies boycotted this contest, citing a court order. On January 13, 2025, the Rivers State High Court issued a restraining order preventing the executive committees led by Aaron Chukwuemeka aligned with Wike from functioning. The court also granted an injunction prohibiting these executives from serving as PDP officers in the state. In response, Ologunagba issued a statement on Thursday claiming that the PDP had accepted the court ruling. He announced that the National Working Committee recognized Honorable Nname Robinson Ewo's group aligned with Governor Fubara as the legitimate state executives. However, in a new development, PDP's Deputy Publicity Secretary Ibrahim Abdullahi refuted Ologunagba's statement, asserting that the National Working Committee had neither met nor accepted the court's judgment on the Rivers State Congresses. He said, the National Working Committee did not accept the judgment recognizing the Ewo-led executive. That is false. The National Working Committee has not convened since September last year. This is verifiable. So I wonder how he can claim the NWC met and adopted the verdict. Abdullahi further criticized Ologunagba for similar unauthorized statements regarding judgments in Imo and Ebonyi states, emphasizing that the Publicity Secretary does not have the authority to speak for the National Working Committee without prior approval. A lot of drama in PDP, trickling down from the national to the state and back. But what do you make of this recent development in PDP crisis in Rivers State?
It is no longer interesting me about the back and forth as it concerns the PDP in, not even in Rivers State, in the national. Because PDP continues to drag itself to the mud, try to wash her dirty linens in the public as it concerns the factions that exist within their ranks. You see, PDP in Rivers State has been, embroiled in a lot of controversies, and the national is not helping the issue. On Thursday, when I read the press statement from Ologunagba, I knew that it was made from the table of bias, from the table of sentiment, and trying to continually fuel the impasse that has rocked PDP over time. Ologunagba has made himself a ready tool, in the hands of those who don't want the well-being and the progress of PDP. He has made himself a ready tool in their hands to really continue to, drag the PDP to the mall. I say this with all sense of humility, because his office should be getting his facts right from a meeting that is conducted from the NEC or the NWC. But as it stands, it seems he has pitched a tent, which you have known, or anybody who has been following the trajectory of the politics and the crisis in Rivers State and the national. We know where Ologunagba stands. He has always been speaking for the Fubara camp and the crisis going on in Rivers State. He has also made himself a laughing stock in the eyes of the Nigerian public, trying to always dabble into some of the positions he's not privy to. If there is a court case or a court nullification of a duly conducted Congress in Rivers State, Ologunagba has made himself short-sighted in reading the handwritings of the wall. One, even if there is a nullification and there is a maintaining of status quo, it is not even the name they are mentioning that is of Fubara scam that we take. You remember that before the congresses were held, PDP came up with a policy statement which Ologunagba is privy to, which made Fubara to run to Abuja to start fighting for structure. What happened? PDP came out and said that instead of us having a divided house, as the problem has started growing within the PDP ranks, they said if a state executive, local government or ward has lost executive members.
You mean during the state,
before
the ratification
yes,
of
members. That is where we should be going.
The appointment of caretaker.
Yes, if there is a court case now that has nullified the error on Emeka's led ESCO in Rivers State, maybe as it concerns the Congress, and there is a status quo that said, okay, there will be a caretaker committee, it's still forced to err on Emeka. Because going from what happened before the NEC gave their nod for there to be congresses, they said if we have lost any member of the executive ranging from ward to state level, let the status quo remain. If somebody has cross-carpeted or in event of death or somebody is found wanting, let the members that are remaining, let them remain on the seat and continue to pilot the affairs of their respective either ward or state or local government. And it fell on Aaron Chukwuemeka. And he started on the saddle in Rivers State. That was why when they were peddling names that they have brought in some people and they have not brought in some people, that led the governor of Rivers State to run to Abuja and was saying that what they had in the meeting, the governors forum, I didn't know when governors forum has become the NEC or the NWC of a political party to now dictate those whose name will be in the saddle of manning the affairs of the parties from ward to the state level. He went and said that this is not what they said, that the names had been inserted into the ESCO in Rivers State. That was where the problem started. But as it stands, Ologunagba should know better that even if a court has nullified and we now have, the party will not be left without an executive. Okay, if we say status quo should remain, Aaron Chukwuemeka is still in the saddle. That is the way I'm seeing it. So there would have been no need for somebody in an exalted position and somebody that is the mouthpiece of PDP to take a stand, even when other people are taking a factional stand in the problems that have bedeviled PDP. It is not in the person of the publicity secretary or the spokesperson of PDP to take a side, because he knows that any word that turns out from his mouth has become controversial or become inflammatory and can cause chaos in the party. So we know when we had it where he's standing, and thank goodness that the publicity secretary of PDP has come out to clarify. Deputy publicity secretary. And Laurentia, it was here we sat. I told you that that NEC meeting will not hold. And he has made it clear, the deputy publicity secretary has said that since September, NEC has not even sat.
National Working Committee.
Okay, National Working Committee. National Working Committee have not even sat. So where have they sat to ratify such a position for Ologunagba to make out a statement? That means, in my view, And in the view of the majority of PDP members, he's speaking for himself. And he's speaking for where his stomach lies.
Now, this boils down to another question that I want to ask you, which has led to the factional leadership right now in PDP. Considering the fact that the Ewo-led executive now, by the statement of the Deputy National Secretary,
yes,
and the position of Damagum, saying that the PDP National Working Committee have not even started over this matter, and that Ologunagba spoke out of turn and for himself. Now, to a large extent, one would say the Ewo-led committee, state executives, are non-existent in the eyes of the PDP National.
Of course.
Now, what now gives them the leverage? If then, the interesting thing in all these things now, you have the Ewo-led executive appointed by Debo Ologunagba on one hand. Then, on the other hand, we have the Edwin Woko. You know, they were the people that went to court in the first instance.
Yes.
They were the appellants, and one of the prayers in the judge in the court, one of the prayers to the court was that the court should recognize them as the legitimate executives in Rivers State, and the court granted them that prayer. So now we have Edwin Woko on one hand, whom the court, you know, has recognized and elected for PDP to be the state executive. And
under caretaker or under substantive?
The judgment of court says that Edwin Woko, Lovotoni, and the other
yes,
that appealed,
yes,
that first of all, the court restrained the PDP from recognizing Aaron Chukwuemeka and his executives as the elected executives of Rivers State. And then the court now mandated PDP to recognize Edwin Woko, Lovotoyin, and others as the executives of Rivers State. In whatever capacity, I'm not too sure, because I can't say what I do not know. But the court recognized them while restraining Aaron Chukwuemeka. Now, on the other hand, Ologunagba has appointed a set of executives. So we have three right now. Because apparently everybody is looking at what the executives appointed by Debo. Nobody's looking at the side.
At Moke.
Did Edwin Woko cede his mandate to what is actually going on?
It is really laughable. And if I want to make mention of what Moke represents, I think it was when the caretaker issue was being contested, in my own view, because he didn't emerge through a congress, and we never had there was a factional congress held when Aaron Chukwuemeka emerged. That was why I impute that question on you. So whether the court has recognized him or gave him it was under a caretaker, this thing which has been overtaken by events.
No, the reality is this. You know, I would always say on my show, pending when either there is a stay of execution.
That is where I'm coming.
Or pending when there is a stay of execution or a higher court gives judgment or order.
That is where I'm coming.
Earlier one, I've always been of the opinion
I know that
no matter how controversial you think a court judgment is, you must abide by it.
But that is why.
Then, the thing here that I'm looking at is, prior to this court case, Edwin Woko was flaunting himself as the factional chairman. You know, and in that capacity also he went to court, asking the court to recognize him. Because he felt the
timeline of Aaron has elapsed.
Now, the court has recognized him as the chairman of PDP in Rivers State. I need you to understand.
I do.
The chairman of PDP in Rivers State. And Debo Ologunagba has come out to say Ewo
is his own recognized.
Is a chairman of PDP in Rivers State. So we have three chairmen. The court
recognized one.
The court appointed
one
chairman of chairman. We have the PDP chairman in Rivers State, and we have Debo Ologunagba's chairman in Rivers State. These are the three things going on. But my major concern is, you know, Edwin Woko now suddenly silent.
That's the place I'm coming.
Is there a chess game going on?
That's the place I wanted to make a clarification.
Go ahead.
I said before this brouhaha has started, Aaron Nwoke and Aaron Chukwemeka and Nwoke has been there. Then you remember that before, what made Aaron Nwoke's faction to go ahead with the Congress was that there was a substantive court case they instituted that now allowed them. That is where they promised they are going ahead with the said Congress in Rivers State. Even when there was a court order to stop it, there was already a case that they leveraged on in going ahead before the Fubara faction led court case that recognized Nwoke. I don't know if there was a court case that the Aaron Nwoke, Aaron Chukwemeka faction, yes.
A court case.
Yes,
and
that they leveraged on.
There was an order of the court, first of all, that barred that Congress from holding. Now, on the other hand, Chukwemeka Aaron is saying that there was a court case that
is the one out of
the right
to go
before
ahead, this one came.
Yes, to go ahead with
that is where I'm leveraging.
Okay.
That is the one that Aaron Nwoke held on to, that made them hearken to the National in going ahead with the Congress.
Okay.
So before when that was instituted, so the one that Nwoke got, the one that made Aaron to go into the Congress has made a nuisance of the one that Nwoke later got that recognized him.
How do you mean?
What I mean is that there was a court case that recognized, that empowered Aaron Chukwemeka to go ahead before the court case that now recognized Nwoke.
The question will be.
The question now will be.
Are they the same prayers?
The two cases. Aaron Nwoke's prayer was because of the lacuna, the seeming lacuna that existed when the Emeka Aaron led executive seems to have elapsed on their mandate. You understand?
Their tenure has expired.
Before the National came up with they should continue, in order to allow Damagum. Remember all those things we are attempting towards allowing Damagum to also continue. They now expanded it to the states, local government, and wards. That is where Damagum has gotten his own mandate to continue as in acting capacity.
In order to oversee the Congress.
Yes,
across states, local
you understand. So they made it seem now they have the backing of the wards, local and state executives in order to allow them to continue to function until substantive congresses are being ordered. That is where these problems are coming. So where Nwoke now got his own court order is, I don't know why the court granted him the leave he sought. But be that as it may, the Congress has been held by the National, and the Ologunagba faction of the Rivers State Executive has emerged now. So what is in it is this.
Where does that leave Edwin Nwoke?
The Edwin Nwoke now has become an orphan, because it seems the Fubara faction is not supporting him. The Fubara faction is towing the line of the card that Ologunagba is playing. Now, that means...
Would one say that Edwin Nwoke was a proxy in this whole entire thing? A proxy in the sense that he was probably a means to an end. A means to, in the first place, balkanize the
Aaron Nwoke,
balkanize the party in the state, and then Ologunagba sweeps in. But then, one would see, even if that is what it is, I'm speaking hypothetically.
Yes.
Let's say hypothetically that's what it is. One would still say that between Edwin Nwoke and Ewo, one would say Edwin Nwoke has the backing of the court.
Of the court, which is more
then
recognized.
Ewo, on the other hand, does not have the backing of PDP National.
No, it doesn't.
Does not have the backing of the PDP states.
No, it doesn't. So in my view, Ewo is not even in existence. is in existence in the minds of maybe the governor, whom Ologunagba is his associate, and also in the mind of Ologunagba, who is associate of the governor. So where that leaves Nwoke now.
Ologunagba is a PDP member, the governor is a PDP member, and there is freedom of association.
No, that's what I'm saying, is their own alignment, because there is a game of interest now.
Okay.
PDP is an interest-driven game. Where your interest lies is where you tend towards.
All right.
So as it stands, they have made their point, and that leaves Nwoke at sea. And we are not even hearing from him again. So that leaves us with looking onto the courts to decide. But as it stands, being a political party affair, I will say that Aaron Chukwuemeka still has the mandate of PDP, because the elections were, the announcement for the elections were made, forms were floated, people bought forms and contested. Even those who went to court and saying that they were denied participation have not proven where they have not given us the names, the list of where the names were recorded from the PDP National, which Ologunagba would have been privy to. But as it stands now, they are beating around the bush, because if they have purchased their form, they would have floated a copy of the form they filled and submitted back to the national level, and they were now not allowed to participate. So at the end of the day, the buck stops at the table of the NEC and the NWC, which gave the go-ahead for the congresses to be conducted, because this is a party affair. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, the court will only do the one they will do, look into the infraction if genuinely somebody was disenfranchised in the form he has bought, genuinely, and was not allowed to contest in that election. If there is something like that, that is where they have a stake. But if there is nothing like that, the PDP National, which is though factionalized, but Damagum still has a voice. Damagum still has a voice. And that is why I told you that that meeting, NWC meeting, will not hold. And that is the reference they are making. The NEC meeting. But I said the NEC, then you said NWC.
Then the NEC meeting. That NWC sees the day-to-day working activities of the party. That's what NWC does. NEC is the highest decision-making body. And the congresses that will see the emergence
of Aaron Chukwuemeka.
No, hold on. The congresses that will see the emergence of the new national PDP executives will be done by the NEC.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
But when it comes to day-to-day running activities of the party, it is the NWC. So you need to...
Who chairs the NWC?
You need to separate them, the National Working Committee.
Yeah, who chairs
now that
them?
is why... It's still Damagum. And that is why the deputy publicity speaker is saying that Ologunagba cannot speak without obtaining permission of the NWC, not the NEC.
Okay,
the NWC.
okay.
And in
now
this
I
instance,
get it.
Ologunagba spoke without
the authorization of
the NWC, and they are saying that NWC has not convened, since I think September 2024, and that's a verifiable fact.
Yes, it is.
Do you understand?
It is, and that makes what the deputy publicity secretary said very authentic.
All right, very well.
Yes.
Now moving forward
authentic.
At this point, as we round up this particular topic, what do you make, or where does that leave PDP in Rivers State? At this point, the two major political parties in Rivers State are having similar crises, actually. Very similar crises, by the way. But it appears that in the case of PDP's own is much, much, much more complex.
Because there seems to be in power, because the governor has kept his 1 foot in PDP, while his whole body is outside.
The difference to a large extent here is trickling from the party at the national level. In the case of the APC, it's one voice at the national.
Yes.
And they are very quick to debunk and take decisions.
Yes, yes, okay.
But in the case of the PDP,
then nationally
factionalized. They will I call it factionalization in the PDP
interest.
or balkanization in the PDP national. To a large extent,
is what is fueling this one
in River State PDP.
You are right.
That's why I said PDP River State appears to be much more complex. But then moving forward, where do you see PDP River State looking at 2027? And the fact that the national has not even gotten their act together, how is it going to play out or affect PDP in the coming days?
Well, I will say that if Bola Tinubu is very interested in 2027, the PDP will continue to be enmeshed in a crisis, because PDP crisis stems from the controlling of the soul of the party. Some people say it's the rescue of the soul of the party from the opposition hitherto, because those in the other divide are thinking that hence Nyesom Wike is an ally of Damagum, and the Nyesom Wike is working for an APC-led government. He may not have the tenacity to really be interested in wrestling power out from the APC if he's not interested in contesting in the presidency in 2027. So that makes a whole lot of meaning. Then another one is this. The PDP has also allowed herself to be, to be plunged into a deep crisis, because they have failed to tell themselves the truth. The truth is the fallout of the primaries of 2023 general election, where Atiku obtained his form through the back door with his meeting with Yochi Ayo, the then chairman, and they have refused to tell even the Ologunagbas of this world has refused to, see the handwriting of the world, that this is where the problem is emanating from. And you will not remove the Atiku influence in what Ologunagba is doing and what is happening in River State, because it is a fact that any enemy of Nyesom Wike is now a friend to those people in the other divide. So anything that they will do to pull down the structure or the ally of Nyesom Wike in PDP is what they are doing. So I'm not seeing an end to it unless the courts, hence this issue has gone to the court. The Congress issue is being contested. The factionalization is being contested. The status quo that even the courts even said that time that let the status quo remain. If they go to court and they say now the Congresses has been nullified and Woke is not really being recognized by the NEC or the NWC, as the case may be, who is to be in the saddle? It is still that meeting that PDP held before Governor Semi
that will appoint.
Yes, he said that then, and they said that
still choose to appoint Chukwemeka.
And that is what they did that time. That instead of appointing caretakers and there will be more problems, let those people continue to work in that space for the time being. And they made it very much interesting that let nobody else be infused, even if those people remain three in a state or local government or what level as the case may be, let them continue to pilot their affairs, so that we won't say we are picking somebody from this faction. We are picking somebody from this faction, because when Aaron Nwoke was elected, the PDP in River State were seen to be one. So if they allow them to continue in that acting capacity, given their mandate before, I'm not talking of the president, then there is a sense to which PDP is still united in that front. But if you say, let us infuse somebody here, Fubara will say, it is the ally of this person is the ally of that's why they came out with that wisdom. But hence that the center have not held. Let us wait for the court to decide if the Congress was authentic in itself, or if there were infractions that could lead to the nullification of the said Congress.
All right, very well.